U.S. Virginia introduces bill to protect digital asset mining rights. This is obviously something that's been getting done across a few different states. It's nice to see more states adopting this. Come on, Texas, let's go ahead and get something going. The legislation establishes rights for digital asset miners and validators and provides tax incentives for the purchase of goods and services with cryptocurrencies. Obviously, tax incentives for the use of cryptocurrencies is awesome in this particular case. Definitely bullish on that. The Virginia State Senate has introduced legislation that delineates regulations for the mining and transaction of digital assets and their treatment under tax laws. Senator Salim, the youngest member of the legislative body at 34 years old, proposed Senate Bill number 339 on January 9th. The Senate is discussing the legislation, and if it passes, it will go to the House of Delegates for consideration and then be signed into law. The bill exempts individuals and businesses engaged in digital mining activities from obtaining money transmitter licenses. It also shields miners from discrimination by prohibiting industrial zones from banning digital asset mining or imposing more restrictive noise ordinances than those in places in industrial zones. Quote, no license under this chapter shall be required for any person engaging in home digital asset 37 mining, digital asset mining, or digital asset mining business activities, as those terms are defined in this the following section, which you can check the link in the description if you want that specific number. In addition, the legislation exempts issuers and sellers of digital assets from securities registration requirements if certain conditions are met, such the digital asset not being considered an investment contract. Quote, an issuer or seller of a digital asset shall be exempt from the securities registration requirements of this chapter if 1, the digital asset cannot be considered an investment contract, 2, the issuer or seller of the digital asset did not market the digital asset to the initial buyer as a financial investment, and 3, the issuer or seller of the digital asset takes other reasonable precautions to prevent an initial buyer from purchasing the digital asset as a financial investment. Companies offering mining or staking services cannot be classified as, quote, financial investment, end quote, under the bill. However, they must file a notice to qualify for the exemption. Furthermore, the legislative incentives to use incentivizes, there we go, the use of cryptocurrencies for everyday transactions by offering tax benefits. The bill proposes that starting from January 1st, 2024, individuals can exclude up to $200 per transaction from their net capital gains for tax purposes. This exclusion applies to gains derived from the use of digital assets for purchasing goods or services. Now, that's a particularly interesting one because, and I don't know if it's per transaction, and what that can do from the mining perspective in general, just to give you an idea, is give you a little leeway on this buy and sell times. Like trying to sell exactly when you mine it can be quite difficult, right? And there's a little bit of leniency already there, like sell the day of, record that price for the day of at the point that you sold it, blah, blah, blah. But this gives you a little bit of a bubble, at least at the home mining level, where, you know, if you mine something, it shoots up in value and you sell it and you made $200, you still get that $200 barrier for your capital gains on the tax purposes. So that's a nice incentive to see for miners in particular, especially at home miners. So you're not actually like ending up in a position where you have a bunch of capital, like short-term capital gains, right? That you weren't planning on. I mean, most strategies in general have been that you mine it, you sell what you need for the power, and then you hold the rest until it's long-term capital gains. And if you end up in a position where you accidentally sold and got some capital gains that were short-term, you pay a higher tax bracket, just in theory, right? Talk to your CPA, and this isn't tax advice or whatever. But in general, that's kind of the idea, right? So you get a little barrier there. Interesting stuff coming from Virginia. I like this tax policy in particular, and these incentives for miners. And like I've said before, states that are incentivizing miners, I think, are going to be in a very healthy position economically here in the near future compared to states that are pushing against it. And so it's something you want to pay attention to, especially if you're considering moving away from states that are starting to perform poorly economically, right? The great exodus of California, for example. Now, you guys mined during the bear market. You made it through, well, at least maybe a half of you. I know a lot of you motherfuckers over here didn't actually do it, but the ones that did, I have a new shirt for you guys, and it says, I mined with the bears for the bear market, okay? So if you mined with the bears and you want to rep that you did mine during the bear market, go ahead and head on over to shop.sonofatech.com. And the listing will be down below. I'll put it in live chat right now. I have a sweatshirt. There's a sticker if you'd rather have a sticker, t-shirt, premium shirt, all that cool stuff. Really like the new shirt. I ordered a few for myself, and I just had that design finished this week. Eventually it'll be on the YouTube channel, but that takes a little bit of time, so just give it some time. Proceeds, of course, go to supporting me in the channel, so there you go. And I thought we put some work into it, and I thought you guys might enjoy it. Thanks for watching this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here, and don't forget to subscribe down here as well. You can also check out my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com, where you can get a free month of supporter status with a purchase at sonofatech.locals.com. Also, don't forget to check out my merch underneath the video or at shop.sonofatech.com. I'll see you next Tuesday.